So what are pop-ups? I would define pop-ups as a temporary place where you sell or promote your brand. Notice I say sell or promote because there are some pop-ups that are just there to promote their brand, by giving away freebies, etc. So that is what I would define a pop-up. I don't know if you've noticed that pop-ups are so popular at the moment. It seems whatever size your brand is, there's a pop-up somewhere. And I don't know if it's mainly London there are pop-ups. Obviously, I want to talk about London because I live in London, but if you're in other parts of the country, as not in London, let me know in the comments if you're finding that there are lots of pop-ups. I've seen pop-ups from like Coca-Cola, sort of designer pop-ups, Marc Jacobs, etc. And it's about creating an event that people will actually want to go to. And I think they're so popular because they offer something completely different. So it's not a case of just, you're buying something online that you actually know what you want to buy. Pop-ups, you don't know what you're going to get. So you could get something that's limited edition, you could get something, a whole new, different type of experience, giveaways, competitions, win a product that's, they haven't launched yet. And, meeting different types of people. And I think they're so popular because they're so different, but I think it's also a way of community and people interacting with people because a lot of us nowadays, we're at home and we kind of sit behind the screen and we do all our shopping online and we don't really go out that much. So I think a pop-up encourages people to go out, especially if it's a brand that you like. And there's a chance that you're going to get something that you may not be able to buy online. So my experience of pop-ups as a consumer, I love pop-ups. I mainly go to bakery pop-ups, of course. As you may have seen if you follow me on my other channels, I've been to a few pop-ups this year. I've been to Phil Curry's pop-up. He's had 3 pop-ups. I've been to Eats by Ella pop-up. I've been to, more recently, Lungi's pop-up, which was a staggering success. And it's just a way of connecting with people that you follow, and also, as I said before, getting goods that you may not necessarily be able to buy, because they, for example, they may not sell the goods online, etc. So it's a good way of getting out, meeting your favorite bakers. I'm going to say bakers because I'm looking at it from a baker's perspective, and I just love pop-ups. Whenever I see a pop-up, I'm just like, oh, gotta go. I just like the whole experience of them. So why should bakers consider pop-ups? I think pop-ups is a good way of having a temporary space to sell your wares, especially if you have some items or items that you can't necessarily sell by post. Because I know you can say, well, why don't you just sell them by post? But if you're doing really intricate cakes, you can't really sell those by post. So having a pop-up, a temporary space, is a really good way. It's also a good way of having like a temporary shop front without having all the overheads of a permanent shop front, which you have like your business rates, your rents, insurance, and all the other expenses that come with a permanent shop front. So having a temporary one is a good way. And it's also a good way of sort of having that experience of having a shop front if your plan is to eventually get a permanent shop front. So, for example, Phil Curry, who's doing he's doing pop-ups this year. Each month, he's doing a pop-up. His next pop-up is the 25th of June. His aim is to at some point have a shop, a storefront. Now, these things can take time. It takes money. It takes finding the right place, the right location. So, in the meantime, if you can pop up and get that kind of experience, it's a good thing. And as I said before, it's a good way to interact with your customers. You don't have to get anything really fancy for a pop up. I've seen people pop up in like cafes. Bill Corey pops up in the space where he works, Stratford Workshop. Lunga's pop up was in it seemed like an empty shop. I mean, there's lots of empty shops at the moment, as we know, unfortunately. And if you can find a landlord who is maybe willing to let you use it for like a couple of days at a heavily discounted price, that's one way of doing it. If you're someone who already provides your goods to a cafe for wholesale, why not approach them and say, actually, I'm interested in doing a pop up. Would you want to do like a kind of collaboration thing? So, for example, if you've got cakes, you could pop up with your cakes, and the cafe is there to provide drinks. Just use those relationships that you've already got with places in terms of doing a pop up. So, in conclusion, yes, I love pop ups. Yes, I think they're really useful. And again, with pop ups, doing pop ups doesn't mean you necessarily want to have a storefront, because, like I said, of all the costs that go with that. But it's just a case of offering something different, being able to interact with your customers. And yeah, I think pop ups should become a useful part of your business. But again, it's about finding the right place, the right location, etc. But if you can do a pop up as a baker, I would definitely suggest it. Let me know in the comments if you have done any pop ups or if you've been into any pop ups recently. Until next time, Kate lovers.